Hello and welcome to another session of Karen's Colours. I'm Dr. Karen and these are my colour conversations. It's that time again where we need to look at another colour reading for prediction purposes. Again, we're looking at birthdays, and if you're new here, then hopefully you'll come across something that you haven't seen before. Predictions using colour are quite different to those using tarot cards or the I Ching, for example. If you're a regular viewer, of course, then you know exactly what to expect. And I hope that this month, this upcoming month of July, will be a lot better for you than June was. Certainly, I hope it will be for me, because I do the things that I ask of you. I choose my colours and I incorporate them into my life as much as I possibly can. This month, I've chosen another Oracle card set. This one is called the Telepathy Oracle cards. Now, there's no information on them whatsoever as to where they came from, but I rather like them because of the messages that they give us. As usual, I've pre-shuffled the colour cards. Well, you could actually say I've pre-randomized them because I'm not much of a shuffler. And if you want to see that randomization process, there is a video called Shuffling for the Non-Shuffler that's in the playlist that you'll find this particular video under as well. This is the reading for people born in the month of September for July 2025. So let's begin with the selection of an oracle card. And we'll pop it under here, and hopefully it will consolidate the remainder of the reading for us. So now I'm looking for colour cards to tell me the journey of people born in September throughout the month of July 2025. Whoops, we only want a few. Let's try it again. All right. So the energy that you bring with you into the month of July, one card will do, is grey on orange. The energy throughout the major part of the month is blue on blue. And the energy with which you leave the month is pink on cyan. And the underlying energy is white on green. Right, well, the underlying energy of white on green resonates with the tarot card known as death. So there is a total disruption of the old and new beginnings that come from this urge to start again. And in the real world, the world is your oyster, and you can head off in any direction that you like. Death is only death of the old. It's always renewal in order to face the new. And as an underlying energy, it requires you to take courage, to take your heart, and to head off in the direction that will enable you to become someone different to the person that you were before. Now let's have a look at what this says as the incoming energy, because while death requires you to take a courageous step forward, orange is actually the colour of courage, of overcoming crisis, and it is the underlying drama, the underlying drive and motivation that occurs in the colours with which you enter the month. So there has been something that has been majorly upsetting that is left over from June, something that has been somewhat of a crisis, and you have had to deal with it. But in the real world, there's been a great deal of uncertainty and confusion as to which direction to take. When we have grey in the real world as the action that is taken, there is here a sense of needing to find a new perspective, a new way of looking at the experiences that you've had that have created this sense of crisis and unease that comes with the orange internally. This doesn't say that you're actually dealing with the crisis. It simply says that you are feeling the crisis. And that crisis comes from this sudden change that occurs as a result of life now stepping into a new era, a new type of environment. Now, the colour that appears in the middle of the month is also an interesting one because it's the only colour that is repeated throughout the entire reading. And that is, we have blue in the internal world and we have blue in the external world. When the same colour appears both in the top and the bottom of the circle, there is an inability to move in any direction other than the one in which you are motivated to act. So blue internally is all about connecting to those things that maintain stability and organization and also duty in your life. In the real world, what you are doing is you are maintaining stability and the duty that you use to carry on with whatever it is that is required of you. This actually means that you are in many ways very comfortable in the existence that you have here. As a tarot card, the blue on blue has to do with the high priestess. So you're keeping yourself silent while you do whatever it is that you need to do in order to maintain the status quo within your life. But the underlying energy that you have here of this white on green means that the blue on blue is not as stable as it might at first appear. Green and blue together form a desire, a need for creating and establishing new sorts of connections. Often it means the need to find new friends, new acquaintances, new people that you can incorporate into your life. And blue on white, or blue and white as the action, means that you're looking everywhere for the sorts of people that have like minds. You're looking for those that also will agree with the sort of lifestyle that you are comfortable with here, and at the same time will enable you to also see those from a perspective that is different to the one that you had when you were here in this blue on blue mode. Then we move into the future, and towards the end of July, that blue has now become cyan as the motivator. Cyan is the desire for peace, for the utmost bliss and quiet. It's solitude as well, but it's also, I'm sick and tired of change. I just want things to remain the same. And in the real world, what we have here is an outbreak of pink, an inability to do anything about the things that have been impinging upon you here with the blue on blue. Duty and responsibility can have been overwhelming, and it often is. So when you then get to the stage where you now just want to let it go, you've had enough, in the real world, you're finding by the end of the month that you really don't want to do anything. You've run out of energy. But pink also in the real world has the ability to bring towards you the sorts of people that will assist you. You will find that you are greeted in a way that is more pleasant than perhaps you would have been back here or back here when the drive is one of needing to overcome a crisis and not knowing how to do so. Now you haven't got the energy to deal with anything, so others will come to your assistance. That's always very handy to know. When we look at the underlying energies here, the green and cyan together is definitely associated with new friendships, with new relationships. Are you looking for love? Well, there's a good chance that you might even find it if that's the case. Or if you're looking for something to love or become connected to, then there's a good chance you'll find that. Pink and white together is justice as far as the tarot cards are concerned. And that is always something that is good because it enables you to find exactly what you deserve. You've had a tough time back here. You've had a tough time overcoming this change that has forced you into heading in a new direction. You've dealt with the drama and the outrage that comes with having to deal with issues that you really don't understand. You've stabilized yourself, and now you're looking forward to a new life with new friends, new people around you, a new ability to find the things that are right for you in your life. So let's examine the colors that are missing. There is no black, but you do have white. There's no red or yellow, but you do have green. You have blue. There's no brown. You do have orange. You have grey. There is no purple. You do have pink. And you do have cyan. These colours here are the ones that you will be using throughout the month of July, and they will enable you to overcome whatever the issues are that you're needing to deal with. These colours here are the ones that are missing, and so therefore either not needed, not desired, or aren't able to be used. And they are the ones that will help you to overcome the worst of the issues that will occur throughout the month. What have we got here? We've got black. This is isolation. It's getting in touch with your inner self, but it's also likely to be depression. Red has to do with energy. It's got to do with being able to be your own boss, to determine what you want out of life and to stamp yourself onto your life. We have pink, which is a watered down version of the red, but pink always says no energy, red says lots of energy. There is no yellow. You aren't actually learning anything new, and because of that, your ability to activate your intelligence is also not being used. There's no brown. There is no way of you being able to create the sort of life that you want for yourself because you haven't actually determined what it is that you want out of life. And there's no purple. In fact, there is no catastrophe happening in your life, but also there's no healing. There's no getting better. There's no having fun as a result of the changes that you might make. So the idea, as usual, is to take the one colour that is most appealing and then the colour that is least appealing from those five and incorporate those into your life in somehow. And when you do so, you'll find that your journey throughout life here, throughout the month of July, will lend you the sort of strength that you need in order to navigate this change, this underlying energy of death, leaving behind the past and starting off again in a new direction in such a way that it gives you both bliss and love. So what now with the Oracle card? What we have here is connection. Your connection is eternal and unbreakable. Interesting. Connection is what is likely to come out of this combination, the pink and the cyan. It will be eternal and it will also be unbreakable. So, lots to think about this month, don't you agree? I hope that the colours that you choose will be of benefit to you, and hopefully the colours that have been chosen for you will help to clarify some of the experiences that you will be undergoing in the month of July. Until we meet for the next colour reading, may the colours that you choose guide you and help you along the way. Until next time, bye.